All right, Mike Heck here for MMAfighting.com here at Mohegan Sun with Brandon Gibson.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
How are we doing, sir?
I'm great, man. Good to be talking to MMA fighting as always.
It's great to have you here. Of course, Aaron Pico, big fight coming up against Aiden Lee. It's been a little bit of a delay to get here, but talk about a guy who, started with the highs of highs, experienced some of the lows, but now he's back on track, and he just seems like a much different guy than we saw, 4 or 5 years ago. Even the guy who lost those 2 fights were in exciting wars. He just seems like a much more focused fighter now. Have you noticed that as well?
Oh, absolutely. Aaron's so composed, and I think just him being here, right? Like he didn't turn his back and ran. He had all the pressure, all the weight, all the expectations on him as like maybe the greatest prospect of all time. And, early on, there was a lot of hard lessons to learn. Would I have managed that career differently? Yeah, but he wouldn't be where he is with the humility he has, with the work ethic he has, and with the dream and dedication. And I have no doubt, Greg Jackson has no doubt, Tusa Alencar has no doubt, and Aaron Pico has no doubt that he will be a world champion.
When did you know? Like, when did you kind of see it? Like, sometimes that switch flips and guys come in and out, and you're just like, yeah, he was good, but it just seemed like there was always that sort of it factor with Aaron. When did you see it? I was very fortunate to watch Aaron train one time in LA. I was out there actually training Cub Swanson, and we went to Coach Cal's training lab, out of his garage, a famous strength and conditioning program. And TJ Dillashaw was there, and Juan Archuleta was there, and I was Cub, and then Aaron Pico. And man, he just stood out to me from that moment on. And when he came out to Albuquerque, I just knew right away that he's something special. And really, I don't know if there was one exact moment. Like, we all see his technical ability. We see what an incredible athlete he is. He has super high IQ for this game. But more and more and more, he believes deep in his heart, like a deep conviction that he's going to be world champion. And that's what we all need, right? Like, as a coach, I can't falsely plant that into somebody. They have to have that, and he does. It seems like he's a sponge. Like, he just attaches to things very quickly. And maybe he just didn't have that like tightness and that camaraderie with coaches, and no disrespect to them, but sometimes you just go into a place and it clicks and you just buy into everything. Can you compare like sort of his learning ability, him being a sponge, to any other fighters that you've been able to work with?
No, I wouldn't compare him to anybody else, but Greg Jackson's coached a lot of champions, probably more UFC champions than any other coach in the game. I like to think with the 15 UFC world title victories that I've been a part of, that I have a good eye for it. Same with Coach Winklejohn and Coach Tusa and all these great coaches that have been around Aaron in Albuquerque. We see all those special qualities in him, like the X's and O's of MMA, the technique, the combos, the setups. A lot of people can learn that, but Aaron has all of those factors that are very hard to teach to somebody, that they just have to have ingrained within them. And he's been wrestling and competing since he was 6 years old. There's parts of this that are sometimes very challenging for us to give other fighters that Aaron just has. He's a little Spartan, man. He is, and he's still very young. Sometimes we talk about all these expectations that were on him as a teenager, and now he's 24, coming into his own. And I think 2020 really showed some of the results of the course he is on.
Yeah, it's just kind of crazy to see how he came in and where he's at now. It's just kind of this like roller coaster ride that he's been on. And I know that he's basically putting his career into your hands, his manager's hands. Like, he's said that many, many times. Like, whatever my team wants me to do, that's what I'm going to do. You mentioned he has dreams, aspirations of becoming a world champion. So I'm just curious, like, from your perspective, like, how close do you think he is? Do you think like within the next 2 years he could fight for the belt, like, or even sooner?
We don't want to rush anything. We really like this course that we're on, and working with Scott Coker and Ali Abaziz and Greg Jackson, Tusa, and Aaron. Like, we feel like we're on a good path, and there's certain styles we want to see him against, certain body types, certain skill sets. And we want to make sure he's well prepared. But you know what? If he got the call in a few months that maybe somebody fell out of the tournament and we're on a good streak, I think Aaron Pico might be one to call to step in. We're not trying to rush it either, though. But do I believe that he could be a world champion tomorrow? Yes, absolutely. In Bellator or in the UFC. I think he can hang with any 145er in the world.
Of course, another prospect that is coming along, that's getting ready to make a splash this week is Clarissa Shields, who you had the chance to work with. And I feel like she's taken a very realistic approach to MMA. Like she treats it very seriously. She's not just coming in saying, I'm going to be world champion. She knew what she had to work on. She knows it's going to take some time to get there, but she's getting ready to make her debut. What have you seen from her?
I see the heart of a champion. I see why she was a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. I see why she's a unified boxing champion. She has a work ethic in her, man. The other morning I came to the gym, all the lights were off. Me and Pico thought we were the first ones there, and Clarissa was there doing setups by herself in the dark. Like she is very driven and very motivated, and I do like the approach she's taken. She understands how complex this game is. It takes decades to learn how to grapple at a high level and to wrestle at a high level and to have a clinch game at a high level. She's taken a good approach, man. And I see her in deep waters with the team, and the team is really taking to Clarissa as well. I feel like she's elevated the team's spirits a bit, and same thing, man. People are just behind her. I was coaching there the other day, and Holly Holm was there, like coaching Clarissa through her sparring, and everybody's very vested in Clarissa's success.
So we're going to see her and Holly and Michelle doing all sorts of different dances and TikTok. Like they're going to be like the Fly Girls from Living Color. Man.
Ooh, that was a viral hit, man. And then you had Jon Jones cameo shaking it. Yeah, man. Well, hey, you never know when that can make a comeback.
There you go. We found out that Carlos Condit's getting back in the octagon in around a month. Came kind of pretty quickly, at least from what the report saw. So he's getting in there. Max Griffin, it's a pretty difficult fight, but I love the matchup. How excited is Carlos to get back in there and keep this momentum rolling?
Yeah, momentum, exactly. Carlos is on fire right now. He does, man. He is on fire. We had great fights against Court McGee and Matt Brown, and then he just got Ellenberger in the grappling tournament. Like, Carlos is on fire right now, and he's only getting more and more dangerous. So I'm seeing, he has that cardio, he has that strength, his skill set is ever increasing. And, Max is a very talented, dangerous young fighter who's coming off some big wins of his own and been in some great wars and battles already early in his UFC career. So something we're taking very seriously, something we're training very hard for. And I'm excited for July.
Pico and Pico kind of reminds me of Condit in a way, like just the way he speaks, his approach, I feel like over the last couple of years, he's become a little more Condit-esque in a way, just the way he speaks. Have you sort of noticed that as well? Am I crazy?
I could see some similarities. They both love violence. They both love violence, and they both love coffee.
They do, yes.
But then again, who doesn't?
Yes, I love coffee. I'll probably have a coffee in a few moments. Last thing, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about the man, the new heavyweight, Jon Jones, who just looks massive right now. I know you have nothing to do with the negotiations. That is not your ball game, but you are in there with him, watching him throw bombs. You're seeing him at this size, seeing him move around. What have you made of heavyweight Jon Jones? How different of a guy is he from the longtime light heavyweight champion Jon Jones that has been winning fights for so many years? I
mean, Jon has been, the most dominant champion in UFC history. He has the record for titles. But man, this new goal has sparked a fire in all of us. And whether it comes in a few months or whether it comes in a year plus, Jon's 33. I feel like he's not even in his heavyweight prime yet. And we were taking our time. We were doing this right. And, there's a lot of other business decisions outside of my realm. But my job is to treat Jon Jones as a professional athlete and professional martial artist and the great champion he is, 24/7. And so that's the area I've seen the biggest increase is Jon's approach to being a 365 athlete. And he's, you're inspired by guys like Kobe or LeBron who continue to have great success as they, hit their mid to late 30s and what it took to have that, right? What it took to grow as that professional athlete. And Jon Jones has that in him, man. So, he had great success in his 20s. We've had a great run at light heavyweight, but not only Jon with this focus of being a heavyweight champion with this, huge task in front of us, but also his commitment to himself as a professional athlete. I think we've yet to see the most dangerous Jon Jones there is. This version is going to be greater than any of them.
So you felt like the time, because we knew this move was going to happen eventually. Do you feel like the timing was perfect for him to make that leap?
Yeah, you don't see a lot of successful heavyweights in their 20s. A lot of the great heavyweight champs have been even late 30s, right? And we've had heavyweight champs in their 40s. heavyweight's a bit of a different game than other weight classes in MMA. I think Jon with the strength, with the size, with his skill set and repertoire that he's bringing to the heavyweight division is going to really shake things up. And we're not just looking to take that heavyweight belt. We're looking to defend and defend and defend just like we did with the light heavyweight belt.
Love it. Brandon, thank you for the time, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.